Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me? Am I audible?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yes, you're audible.
We will start the session for today. 1 minute. Yes. Okay, so we will start the session for today, and today we will be talking about positive thinking. Before we begin the session, we will just talk about what positive thinking is and what do you all think about positive thinking. So, if you have any suggestion about positive thinking, just put it in the chat box. Just say if you all have anything, any opinion about positive thinking, what positive thinking is, or do you all practice positive thinking? Anything. So, if you all have anything, please put it in the chat box. And okay, being optimistic. Okay. Uh, what else? Anything more? Else? Being strong. Okay. Again, there are no right and wrong answers. Whatever you feel, whatever you think is correct is going to be correct because that's what you feel is good for you. So if don't hesitate to put in your opinions or don't hesitate to say what you feel about the topic. So anything more about positive thinking? Yeah. During negative situations, we need to face it with positivity and with open mind. Yes, absolutely. Uh, so, is it only during negative situations that we face it with positivity and with open mind, or just generally also we need to have positive, being empathetic all the time? Yes, yes, Lisa, yes. Being empathetic, yes. What else? So I think we've got about four of responses here. One is being optimistic, one is being strong, one is facing any situation with positivity and open mind, and then being empathetic. So yes, positive thinking is all this and much more. So now we will go into a little bit of detail and we will see how we can think positively and how positive thinking affects us. Because our thinking, our thought processes matter and they affect our daily lives, they affect us mentally, they affect us physically. So we will just go into that and see what it is. So just give me a moment, I will share my screen. So let's discuss positive thinking.
Yes.
What is positive thinking and so let's see what it is basically. So positive thinking actually means approaching life's challenges with positive outlook. As one of y'all just mentioned in our chat box, that we should look at any situation that life throws at us from a positive perspective with an open mind. So that's what positive thinking is. Positive thinking does not necessarily mean avoiding or ignoring bad things. So a lot of times we think that thinking positive means we should not look at the negative things happening in our lives, or we should turn a blind eye towards anything negative that happens. But no, positive thinking is not that. It basically means that we look at things, be it positive, negative, or neutral, in a more positive light. So we change our perspective. We change the way we look at things. We don't selectively look at things. So we don't just look at good things and we don't look at bad things. We don't do that. We look at everything, but in a different way, in a more positive way. So one of you have said that being positive thinking is being optimistic, having an optimistic attitude towards things. So is there a difference between being positive thinker and being optimistic? So what do you all think about this? Do you all think that there is a difference between being positive thinker and being optimistic? Okay, yes, you think that there is a difference, and being optimistic means we assume everything would turn out to be right all the time. Yes, exactly. So being optimistic means that we assume that everything will turn out fine, everything will be okay, without analyzing things, without looking at things like how good the situation is or how difficult the situation is, we sort of give a judgment that it's going to be okay. Okay, that's what optimism is. But positive thinking is slightly different from that. So yes, there is a difference between being a positive thinker and being optimistic. So let's look at these differences first. So positive thinking is a choice. So you have to always remember that it is a choice that you make. It is a choice that you are making whether to look at a particular situation positively or whether to look at it in a more negative way. So there is a choice involved here. But in optimism, the studies suggest that optimistic or being optimistic is a trait. Trait as in it is inborn. So it is something related to our genetics. There is nothing concrete to prove it, but there are still studies going on to prove whether it is a trait or whether it is acquired skill or whether it is a choice that people make. So, but largely scientists and researchers say that it is a trait, which means that inherently there will be few people who will look at things in positive way, irrespective of what situation that they are in. So whether they are in the worst of the worst situations or the best of the best situations, they will look at it in positive way. And there will be few people who will look at it in a bit negative way or maybe in a neutral way. So optimism, they say, is a trait. The second difference is that positive thinkers does not assume that all odds will be in their favor. Okay, they just don't say that it's gonna go okay or the outcome of this thing is going to be positive. They are more realistic. They look at it in a more realistic perspective. They look at the situation that they are into. They look at the people they are with. They see how much effort that people are going to put into to achieve a particular thing. So they don't just give a judgment, or they just don't declare that it's going to turn out the way I want it to turn out. So that's why it's more realistic perspective. But in optimism, people assume that the odds will be in their favor, as one of you all suggested or one of you all have put into the chat box. And the third is positive thinkers they are clear about their obstacles. So they don't ignore the difficulties that they might face or the challenges that they might come across. They will analyze it in a more realistic way. They will look at the pros and the cons, which does not mean that they will give up. They will not give up, but they will have more realistic idea as to what are the problems that they are going to face, what are the issues that they are going to come across, and how to solve it. So they are ready to face any problem that they are going to face. So mentally, they are prepared to face any situation. Whereas in optimistic people, they basically turn a blind eye to negative reports or negative outcomes. So if there is any criticism coming towards them, they will say, no, that's not who I am. Maybe they will blame somebody else for their failure. They will not take the responsibility of few things that might have gone wrong because of them. So in optimism, these are few things that makes a big difference. So these are the few things that differentiate positive thinking and optimism. So I hope you all have got a basic idea of what optimism is and what positive thinking is. Because in most of the situations, we tend to use these two things interchangeably. You should think positive, you should be optimistic. We see in the same statement. But in reality, these are two different things. They mean two different things. And it might not be possible for an individual to do these things together. So, moving on to the next, how positive thinking affects me. How will it affect me if I start thinking positively, or what are the changes that it will bring in me? So there are basically, when we look at our health, there are two things that we basically look at. First is physical health, and the second is psychological health. So we will see what are the things that positive thinking can do. So first, it reduces cardiovascular diseases. So any diseases related to heart, any diseases which are related to lungs, it reduces the risk of having those diseases. So if you are starting to say that, okay, let's try positive thinking, that yes, there is a chance that there is a lower risk of cardiovascular disease. You have a longer lifespan. Now, how do you have a longer lifespan? So when you start thinking positive, you look at the world becomes brighter because you look at it from a different perspective. You look at it from different way. So your way of looking at things around you changes. And when you change the way you look, your mind also starts pursuing things differently. You say that, okay, this is a very challenging thing for me, I am so difficult, I can't do this. Your mind says, acha, this is negative, so nahi hoga mujhse. But when you say, oh, this is very challenging, this is going to be so interesting to solve this problem, it's going to be so amazing, I'm going to enjoy doing this. Your mind is also excited. It's like, oh, okay, nice. So your lifespan increases in a way that because you look at things differently, because you look at things more positively, you have more zest, you have more positivity, you have more energy to get up every morning and have a beautiful day. Next is you have increased pain tolerance. So if you are in any painful situation, if you start looking at it in a more positive way, your pain starts reducing. That's how our mind works. There is a decrease in blood pressure because blood pressure, we all know that blood pressure is related to stress. It is related to anxiety. So the moment our stress levels reduce, the moment our anxieties go down, our blood pressure is also coming into control. So when I'm talking about physical aspects of positive thinking, we should not neglect the psychological aspect because they both are interrelated. They are both interdependent on each other. So what are the psychological aspects now? You will see. First is decrease in stress level. As I said, once the stress level decreases, your blood pressure also comes into control. There is increase in well-being. Well-being is basically your happiness. You are more happy, your lifespan increases. Yeah, you have better coping skills. So if you come across any difficult situation, any difficult, any say ups and downs in your lives, you have better coping skills. How to deal with it? How to problem solving capacity, decision making capacities. Are you dealing with it in a more positive way or more negative way? So that's coping skills. So if you have positive thinking approach, you have better coping skills. When you have better coping skills, your pain tolerance, be it a mental pain or a physical pain, will increase. So the ability for you to tolerate a particular pain will increase. And lastly, lower rate of depression. Depression is basically a mood disorder. Depression is basically we start looking at things in a more negative, more pessimistic way. So when you start thinking positively, when you look at things around uh, positively, again, the negative thoughts are not there in your mind. There are no negative pessimistic thoughts in your mind. So again, low rate of depression. So these are by far broadly categorized things that will affect you when you start thinking positively. So now we will talk about power of information. Just give me a moment. Okay, so power of okay, what is power of information? What do you all think is power of information? We get so much of information. There is abundance of information that we get almost every single day from various sources. So, what is the power of information? As you can see, what you listen, what you see, what you touch, what you smell is very important, and they are the source of your information, right? So, media that is very dear to us these days plays a very important role in gathering information. The media may include news, it can include social media, it can be Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, uh, Instagram, TikToks. Nowadays, TikToks are a lot of people are using TikToks. Hoardings while going on the road or while traveling, we see these billboards or hoardings, which also give us information. Movies, songs, web content, web series, or new movies coming along, the songs that we listen to, the music that we listen to, also have some sort of information, right? So, what is this power of information and why is it important when we are talking about positive thinking? How is positive thinking related to any of these topics? Like, why is it related to news or hoardings for that matter, or web content or movies that we watch? So, a simple example, if we come across, say, these last few months, there was this very sensational case that was broadcasted in news. This Sushant Singh Rajput case was a lot highlighted, and almost it was talk of the town all across the country. Almost every single individual was thinking about it, was talking about it. But when we were talking about it, we were talking about it in a much negative way. So it was, first of all, somebody had lost his life. We didn't know how that had happened, and a lot of people were speculating about it. And while speculating, people were to come across and come up with so many different scenarios and so many different things that it would have happened, or how did he end up like that. These were all a lot of negative things. A lot of negative things were spoken about him. Though we were not related to Sushant Singh Rajput, though we didn't know him personally, though we didn't have any kind of relationship with him or his family members for that matter, but he had a part. He was part of our day. We were talking about him, and we were talking about it in a much negative way. So our mind looks at it in a negative way. Our mind says, Acha, this is something that I am talking about right now. I'm talking about this because I came across this news in the morning. I'm reading a newspaper in the morning. I say, this has happened. And my mind is like, oh God, first thing in the morning, I see something negative. You are not saying this. You are not talking about it. But your mind has automatically decided, ki, Acha, it is negative. Similarly, with social media, we come across so many videos, so many clips, so many memes for that matter. Memes, we say, acha, it's so funny. We scroll, we follow these meme pages on Instagram and on Facebook and Twitter. On Twitter, we type on our opinions and we retweet what somebody else says. But we don't understand the intensity of that information, or we don't understand how that is going to affect us and people around us. So, meme, for example, if we have seen a meme in the morning and we laugh at it, we go about it. But the meaning and the info and the message from that meme has stuck in our mind. Most of the memes are negative. Most of the memes are degrading. They are putting somebody else down. They are talking about somebody in a much, much negative light. They are very opinionated, and most of the time, these opinions are not very nice. If I ask you to put yourself in that individual's place, and if somebody was to make a meme on you, you wouldn't like it. So that's how memes are. When we read it, we automatically start formulating those opinions. We automatically start having those kind of opinions, be it positive or be it negative. When it comes to memes, it's most of the times it's negative. So though we are getting that, we are laughing for a minute or two. After that, it's in our unconscious mind. It has been stored as something very negative, right? Something which has negative energy to it. Similarly, with movies, songs, when our moods change, the movies that we watch or the songs that we listen also changes. So we listen to very sad songs when our mood is low, and we listen to very peppy and happy and disco music kind of songs when we are happy, and when we are in a good mood, or especially now that we are in festival mood, our type of music will also change. So the power of information is that what you listen, what you hear, what you see affects you directly or indirectly. It affects the way you start thinking. It affects the way you start looking at world, and it affects the way you have your relationships with others. So it is very important that we keep in mind that what we are listening, what we are looking, what we are touching or smelling, for that matter, is selective, number one, and secondly, it is not too negative. It is not too harmful. Now this is general. Now this is outside us. Now let's come inside us. That is power of thought. Power of information is something that you are provided with, something that is external to. Sometimes it is out of our control, what we listen or what we see, or the things that we come across on everyday basis. But this is something in our hand. The power of thought is something that we can control. First, perception is the key. This is something which is very important. What is perception? Perception is basically how you look at world. Whether you look at world as a very beautiful place, so all sunshine and bright and happy, or whether you look at world as a gloomy place wherein all are cribbing, all are complaining, people are dying across, or people are having difficult situations. So these are the these are two options out of a lot of many options. Again, these are just two examples that I gave. So perception is how you look at the things around you. For that matter, two people can look at the same world in two different ways. Each and every one of us which will look at things around us in different way. There will be no two people who will say, "Acha, we both have same opinions. We both have same way of looking at things, and we think similarly." No, because we all are different. So perception is something that is in our hand. How we look at things around us, how we perceive things, how we look at challenges that are thrown at us. How we look at them is in our hand. So how do you think is in your hand? Whether you look at it in a positive way or whether you look at it in a negative way, it's a choice. Positive thinking is a choice. You have to remember that. How do you look at world and people around you? Again, a choice, whether you look at it in a positive way, or whether you look at it in a negative way, whether you look at it in a neutral way, a choice that you have to make. And one thought can change your life. So one fine day, if you say, okay, I'm going to have a wonderful day today. You just wake up in the morning and you say, I'm going to have a wonderful day today, and you start your day. At the end of the day, you will find that you have done a few things that made you happy and people around you happy. Because you had decided to have a wonderful day already. Your mind was in a positive space, it had positive energy inside it. So automatically, your body also started moving towards doing anything positive. So that's how you were happy at the end of the day, and people around you were also happy. So that is power of thought. What you think happens. We say that no, how can it happen? A lot of things are involved. No, but if you say I can't do this, even if you can do it, even if you have all the resources with you, you will never be able to do it because you have already decided that you cannot do it. So never start a particular say project, or never start anything for that matter with a negative light. Take it positively. We just start with the thing. Okay, let's see how it goes. It looks interesting. We will see how it goes. As it goes along, we will take it. You know. So take it more positively. Small changes that we can make. The first question that any one of us need to ask is, do I think positively? Ask it to yourself and see for the last few days, how have you thought? What are your thought processes? What have you all done? And see what you get as an answer. Do I think positively? Okay, that's the first question that we should ask. Second is, start your day with a positive affirmation. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to have a wonderful day today. I'm going to have a productive day today. I'm going to do something nice today. Or I'm going to help one individual today. Any positive affirmation, any positive thought you can start your day with. The moment you get up, you say your positive affirmation. It can be anything. It can be anything. It can be few things like, I'm going to spend very good time with my parents today, or some I'm going to spend some productive say with your friends, productive. I'm going to discuss my assignments with my friends today, and I'm going to finish some work for the assignment. So it can be any positive affirmation. It can be related to your academics, and it can be related to your non-academics as well. The next is, use positive thoughts. Words play a very important role in our lives. They help us communicate with people around us. So instead of using no, not, can't, will not be able to, replace these words with positive words. I can, I will, I shall, I will do this, I can do this, I can do this. Why can't I do this? Basically, when somebody asks us to do something, I can't do it here. Why can't you do it? What is stopping you from doing it? If you want to, you will automatically find a way to do it. So use positive words. Don't use negative connotations to anything. Use positive words. So automatically your mind will start thinking positively. This is a very important point. Take failure as an opportunity. Don't take failure and say that, oh, I failed. No, you failed, but this is an opportunity for you to rise again. A very common example and a very well-known example is Thomas Alva Edison, the guy who came up with, electricity. So, so he faced failure ample number of times. If he had said, "Acha, now this is failing. Let me let go of this project and see something that I can, that will give me positive outcome. But he didn't do that. He's like, no, this failure means that this is one way that electricity cannot be generated. He took that as an opportunity to find a solution. He took that as an opportunity to come up with something that is not just going to change his life, but life of people around him. So take failure as an opportunity. Focus on the present. We have been hearing this for a long time. A lot of people must have told us this already. Focus on present. Look what is there at hand. Don't think about what is happening in the past. Don't think of what will happen in the future. But when we are going through our daily lives, automatically our mind wanders off to some past incident that had happened or what we would want to do in future. It's good to have a goal. It's good to have, futuristic thinking. I'm not saying it's bad or you should not plan your future. But while planning your future, you should not neglect the present. Most of the time that's what happens when we are planning our future, when we are trying to achieve a particular goal. We don't focus on our present. We don't focus on what we have with us right now at this present moment, what we can do at this present moment. We don't think about that. So it is very important that we do that. We look at what we have at hand. We look at what we can do right now instead of what will happen 10 years down the lane or what has happened 5 years back. Okay? Be in the presence of positive people. A lot of times our friends affect the way we think. Our friends have a very important role to play in our lives, or say our family has a very important role to play in our lives. So it is very important that we choose the people that we are with carefully. These people will shape you. These people will affect you emotionally, physically. They will support you. They will be there for you. So it is important that we choose these people carefully. We need to be in presence of positive people. Okay, and lastly, practice gratitude. It is small thing, thank you, or Dev Bare Karu, or Shukriya. The small words, simple words, but we don't say it. Simple thing. Say, for example, your mother comes and gives you something, we don't say thank you to her. Or, say your domestic help comes and switches on the fan for you. You don't say thank you to her or him. These are the few things that makes you feel nice and that makes the other person also feels nice. So practice gratitude. It is a wonderful feeling when you say thank you or when you say shukriya or Dev Bare Karu to somebody and they smile at you. That is a genuine smile. It comes right from their heart and they are and that smiles bring a smile on your face automatically. You don't even have to think about it. You are smiling. That's it. So practice gratitude. Now, few tips. What can we do or what we cannot do? First is stop all or nothing attitude. I can have all or I will not have anything. No, you can have few things. You may not have few things. We need to know that. You know, at 25, I need to have car. I need to have a home. I need to get married. I need to have particular amount of bank balance in my bank account. I need to have some investments. These things are sometimes too overachieving. These are too many things to achieve in such a short lifespan. We have to plan. You can have all these things, but having all these things at one point of time, it might not be possible. So maybe I can have a good job at 25. Maybe I can have maybe good investments by the age of say 27. I can have a car and a house maybe by 30. I can get married whenever I feel I am ready. It need not be at one particular point of time that I have to do all these things. So don't put these restrictions on yourself that I have to do all these things at one time or I will not have anything or I am a failure. No, you are not. So stop all or nothing attitude. Stop underrating your achievements. So we see that, oh God, that person scored 90%. I only scored 85%. But you scored 85%. If you compare your this percentage with your last semester percentage, last semester you scored 80. So there is an increase of 5% this semester. So that is your achievement. You are improving, you are progressing. But you are demeaning, you're underrating your achievements when you're comparing it with somebody else. So don't do that. What you have achieved, look at those things and how you are progressing, how it is making you a better person. And then give the importance to your achievements that they deserve. Your achievements are not small. It can be small thing like online quiz that you answered, or it can be as big as you have had something. You have maybe had an international quiz. May participate. You have participated in an international quiz and won. So it can be anything, but don't underrate your achievements. Celebrate your achievements. Talk about them. Tell them to the people that you love and care about. They will never underrate your achievements. Think negative when you need to. Okay, this is something that we need to keep in mind. For example, if we lost somebody dear to us, if somebody very close to us passed away, we cannot in that situation think positively and be bright and shiny and happy about it. We will be grieving, we will be sad, we will be upset, our moods will be tilting towards negative side. And it is okay because we are going through a very rough time. It is okay to grieve somebody. It is okay to be sad sometimes. It is okay. It is not that you cannot be sad when you're thinking positive, or you cannot think negatively when you're making this say resolution of thinking positive. So it is okay to think negative sometimes, but you also have to be aware how much negativity you are allowing yourself to enter into. What are these negative thoughts that are entering your mind? You have to be aware. You have to be always analyzing these thoughts. You cannot just let go of them. Next is watch and listen positive and fun content. We are exposed to so many things. It can be Netflix or YouTube or Amazon Prime or Hotstar or Z5. So many apps are coming up. So many social media on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. There are so many videos that are being put up. Sift through your information. Look for positive and fun content rather than negative and degrading and demeaning content. Look for fun, positive, happy content. And lastly, savor good moments. Don't let those moments go, because these moments turn into good memories for you for future. So savor good moments. It can be good moments with your friends, with your family, with your teachers. It can be related to you yourself. Maybe one day you're just feeling very nice. Savor that moment. Remember the feeling that you're going through, because this will become a memory for you. So these are the few tips, and thank you so much. These are my contact details. If anyone wants to get in touch with me for anything, please note down the details, and you can text me, call me, or email me whenever you want. I am in college from 8 to 3, so preferably I would suggest you all to get in touch during that time. But if you all want to talk to me anytime beyond that, please text me before calling, and then I will revert to you back. So you can take down the details, and I would stop sharing the screen after a moment. Thank you. If you all have any questions, any queries, uh, anything, even suggestions for that matter, what do you do to think positive? What do you do? How do you look at things positively? let people know so that they can also take few tips and maybe use it for their benefit. So don't hold back. What do you do? Like for example, Anjali says, "I will." This word works, and I have tried it. So this is tried and tested. You know that she has tried it. You know that it has worked. So there is no reason that it will not work for you. So, if there is any suggestion, any words that you use, any statement that helps you make your day a better or day or brings a smile on your face, if you have anything, please put it in the chat box. If not, it's okay. So that's I'm glad. I answered all the questions that I had. I'm very glad. So if you all don't have any questions right now, you can always message me later, and I'll try to solve that for you. So thank you so much. Thank you for attending. Uh, thank you so much, Anjali. Thank you all. So I think you all can leave the meeting. See you all soon, hopefully in college. Bye.